Breaking: Aljamain Sterling vs. Henry Cejudo, targeted for UFC 284. MMA journalist Ariel Helwani reports that UFC hopes to book Aljamain Sterling vs. Henry Cejudo for UFC 284 in Perth, Australia. Helwani reported news of the targeted Sterling-Cejudo matchup during a recent episode of the MMA Hour. Stay tuned in this video. We will talk about Aljamain Sterling vs. Henry Cejudo, targeted for UFC 284. So make sure to watch this video to the end. Let's check it out. Sterling defended his UFC bantamweight title against TJ Dillashaw just days after UFC 280. He defeated Dillashaw via a second-round TKO in his second title defense as champion. Sterling has won 8 fights in a row since a knockout loss to Marlon Moraes in December 2017. He earned the title via disqualification against Petr Yan at UFC 259 before successfully defending it against Yan in a split decision at UFC 273. If Helwani's report proves accurate, Cejudo will earn an immediate bantamweight title shot after a nearly 3-year hiatus from competition. He defeated Dominic Cruz in his final title defense at UFC 249 before vacating the belt and retiring. Sterling and Cejudo have gone back and forth over the past year regarding a potential fight. After Sterling hinted that Cejudo would need to beg to earn a title shot, it appears Cejudo won't need to after all. Cejudo re-entered the USADA testing pool earlier this year in hopes of a UFC return. After a meeting with UFC matchmakers Hunter Campbell and Sean Shelby, Cejudo called for a fight against Sterling. Cejudo has also called for a super fight against UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski, although it appears Volkanovski will face Islam Makhachev for the lightweight belt. He offered to step in to face Volkanovski earlier this year following Max Holloway's withdrawal. Sterling has flip-flopped when it comes to his interest in a fight with Cejudo. After seeming open to the matchup, he recently expressed fear that the fight wouldn't pique the interest of fans. A huge bantamweight title fight between Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo is being targeted for UFC 284 in Australia. Sterling beat an injured TJ Dillashaw in Abu Dhabi at the weekend and is waiting to find out who his next challenger might be. Cejudo has been retired since May 2020, has not fought for 2 years, but is in the USADA testing pool and ready to come back. According to Ariel Helwani, the UFC is hoping to make a huge bantamweight clash between the former two-weight champion and Sterling. The card in Australia will take place on February 12th next year and could feature Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Cejudo had talked up a comeback to go for a belt in a third different weight class against Volkanovski, but featherweight is now on hold given the Australian's ambitions. So a return to bantamweight is entirely plausible, although there will be other competitors who resent Cejudo jumping straight in with an opportunity at gold. Sterling craves a title defense with some more credibility than his previous two. Dillashaw had a severe shoulder issue and it popped out at UFC 280, meaning the result was a foregone conclusion. And the split decision over Petr Yan the night before was not exactly clear-cut. Sterling will be desperate for a clean statement win, and one over Cejudo would certainly enhance his reputation. The booking would also nullify UFC President Dana White's previously articulated plan of making the Sean O'Malley-Petr Yan winner the next title challenger. O'Malley defeated Yan via a split decision at UFC 280. UFC 284 will take place on Saturday, February 11th at the UFC second pay-per-view card of 2023. The potential Makhachev-Volkanovski title fight could also be booked for the event. Funkmaster is fresh off his title defense against TJ Dillashaw last Saturday in Las Vegas. At UFC 280, Sterling dominated the former champion and won by second-round TKO. The victory came after Dillashaw dislocated his shoulder in the opening minutes of the contest. Following the victory, UFC President Dana White discussed the bantamweight division. At the post-fight press conference, the promoter suggested bringing back Henry Cejudo and giving him the next title shot. The comments came out of nowhere, given that Triple C had been retired since May 2020. Although Cejudo had unretired earlier this year and joined the USADA testing pool, the UFC had already a title eliminator matchup. Minutes before Sterling defeated Dillashaw, Sean O'Malley edged out Petr Yan by a split decision. Despite the promotion stating that Sugar would get the title shot with a win, it appears that will not be the case. On the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani shed light on the bantamweight division and what could be next for the champion. According to the veteran MMA journalist, The UFC is currently targeting Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo for UFC 284. The deal is far from done based on Helwani's comments. However, Cejudo would likely be down, given his recent comments about returning to the cage. If the matchup is made, it just bolsters what is likely to be an incredible pay-per-view event. Already announced for the card is Robert Whittaker's return to Australia. The Reaper is set to meet Paulo Costa at the event. So, hopefully you did enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We will see you in the next video. Thank you.